Hey everybody, welcome to session 5. You've made it through a month of school. Congratulations, good job. Turned in your first essay. So you are getting there. And 3 more to go. So hang in there, you're doing great. Today we're going to be talking about, get my little notes out here, compare, contrast. So this is an essay I particularly like teaching. I don't know why, but I just feel like this is whenever students really start to get persuading and making a point. And you can do that with the compare contrast essay if you want to, or there's also other things you can do, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. So first I want to talk to you about how to organize your compare contrast essay. You've got 2 options, point by point or subject by subject. And the lecture online does a good job of explaining this. It uses the example of comparing 2 jars of peanut butter, which is kind of boring but effective because it's something that we do, or something similar that we do every day when we go to the grocery store. We're trying to make a decision. So if you were to look at those jars of peanut butter point by point, you would take, let's say you're analyzing nutrition, taste, and price. You would analyze the nutrition of jar A and then immediately compare to jar B. Analyze the taste of jar A, immediately compare to jar B, and then the price of jar A, immediately compare to jar B. If you're doing subject by subject, you would talk about the nutrition, taste, and price of jar A, and then you would go over all of those things with jar B. So it just depends on what makes sense for your subject and how you want to organize that. I think the example given in the book was buying a house. And so to me, in my mind, that makes more sense as a subject by subject organization, because you would look at one house all at the same time and then you would look at the next house all at the same time. But it's really just whatever works best for you and how it makes sense in your head to put it down on paper. Okay, the next thing I wanted to talk about real quick was the 2 types of compare contrast that were suggested for your essay. She gave 4 types in the lecture, but 2 of those were pretty complicated, so you'll probably either do valuation or interpretation. So valuation is kind of like what we talked about with the jar of peanut butter. I'm looking at these 2 jars of peanut butter, which one is going to be better for me to buy? What's going to persuade me to buy jar A or jar B? And then interpretation would be you're explaining something by comparing it to another thing. So being fall, you might explain Dia de los Muertos, comparing it to something more familiar to most of us, which would be Halloween. So you could think of interpretation like that, showing the differences and similarities to help someone understand a less familiar concept from a familiar concept. Okay, so moving on. You have the task this week. You were kind of given it last week. If you didn't do it, that's okay. But you definitely need to do this week of looking at the prompts that are given to you in the session, and I believe in session 5, that's the first thing that pops up. So if you haven't considered those or started picking your topic, do that right now. And if you don't like any of those topics and you have something that you think you would rather write about, you need to email me and get that approved as soon as possible so that you can get started on creating your outline and your organizer for your essay. You can either use the organizer that's online, or in your book you have organizers on page 364 and 365 that you can use, or you can just create a Word document and kind of follow those outlines and make your own. Okay, and then I won't be looking at your organizers this time. I'll just be looking at your rough draft. So we're kind of baby steps, taking some responsibility and independence in our own essays. Okay, so topic. I don't have anything filled out right here because I'm going to pause I'm going to let you guys pick a topic from the prompts. I'm not going to do one on the prompt because that would be giving you a little bit too much input about that. But I'm going to pick a topic. I'm going to fill this out, and then you guys go pick your topic, and then I will come back in just a second and show you what I've done here.